Understanding why billionaires in China are suddenly disappearing is intriguing. Let's delve into the reason behind this phenomenon simply in today's video. Having a business in China, the world's second largest economy with over 1 billion consumers, can be complex and risky. Unlike the US, in China, owners of major companies, especially tech firms, face significant issues. This is due to the Chinese government and its agendas. China's economy blends elements of socialism and capitalism. This led its companies to grow globally, expanding beyond the country's borders. Some Chinese tech firms like Alibaba and ByteDance, owner of TikTok, are globally renowned. However, there's a lesser-known but crucial third company. Before discussing this company, please check your subscription and subscribe to the channel. Every week, we release 3 videos here on Infinite Insights every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, designed exclusively to enhance your knowledge and make you a more informed and interesting individual. Now, back to the video's topic. This company is a major player in the tech sector. The company we're talking about is Tencent. It invested in a series of non-Chinese gaming publishers and developers, ranging from minority stakes to full company ownership. Through these investments, Tencent was considered the world's largest gaming company in March 2018. Notable investments include Epic Games, Blizzard, Activision, Garena, Riot, and BlueStacks. Hence, Tencent practically owns numerous renowned games, including League of Legends and Valorant. China plays a significant role in this gaming market, accounting for about 1/5 of global gamers. This gaming industry is so vast that it generates billions of dollars, surpassing the music and film industries combined. Furthermore, the company also owns popular messaging apps in China, such as WeChat, with over 1 billion users, and the second largest Chinese messaging app, Qihoo. These apps replace Western services like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter, which are banned there. However, Tencent encountered issues. It had conflicts with another major Chinese antivirus and messaging company, Qihoo 360, raising concerns about monopoly and unfair competition in China. Imagine we have 2 antivirus companies, QQ Doctor, owned by Tencent, and 360 Safeguard. They fiercely compete in the market and sometimes resort to dishonest tactics to outdo each other. This occurs even in a place that preaches equality, like China. One day, the 360 Safeguard company started claiming that the QQ Doctor antivirus was actually a harmful program for computers, called malware. This caused a lot of trouble. The solution was simple. Tencent made it so that any computer using the 360 Safeguard antivirus couldn't run China's most popular messengers, WeChat and QQ. These companies spent years in conflict, accusing each other of various things, including espionage and Chinese government support. The dispute escalated to the Supreme Court, China's highest judicial authority. The decision favored 360 Safeguard, enabling it to dominate the market and control smaller companies. This opened doors for the Chinese government to interfere in these large enterprises as well. In other words, these major Chinese big techs are fighting amongst themselves to dominate the market, and the Chinese government is leveraging this struggle to gain more control over these companies. By taking sides with one company, the Chinese government significantly harms the other. This affects billionaires and their companies, causing many to disappear from the business scene or lose the relevance they once held. Now, a very significant case involving Chinese billionaires and the Chinese government, which garnered global attention, was that of billionaire Jack Ma and his company Alibaba. Jack Ma was China's richest person and the owner of Alibaba, which includes AliExpress and a major fintech company called Ant Group. He faced problems with the Chinese government for criticizing the country's regulatory system, stating it stifled innovation and needed updating. An example of this was when Jack Ma planned to launch Ant Group stocks on the stock market. Shortly after criticizing the system, the stocks were suspended by Chinese regulators. The government also initiated an investigation into Alibaba for anti-competitive actions. The Chinese government has become stricter with technology companies. This is part of the Chinese president's strategy to have more control over the economy. He wants companies to follow rules set by the government, and any company that doesn't comply can face anti-corruption or antitrust investigations, which significantly harm the company through government sanctions. A few years ago, Qihoo 360 and Tencent had a fierce legal battle. One accused the other of unfair market practices. They fabricated evidence and the dispute hit rock bottom. This marked one of the earliest cases of judicial interference in technology companies. The court's decision favored Tencent. However, since 2015, China has changed how it deals with tech companies. Today, all major companies, including Tencent, are facing issues, even if they haven't done anything significantly wrong. The Chinese government is using laws to control these companies. This is affecting Qihoo 360 as well, which used to come out on top in competition disputes. Now, even Qihoo 360 is struggling, much like other major Chinese tech firms. The laws established by the government don't seem to follow a fair process. They appear to be more in line with orders from the Communist Party. The government has created laws that seem legal, but in reality, they allow them to control companies. The government decides what's right or wrong, and companies must comply. Even TikTok faced accusations in the West for violating privacy laws, but in China, it was spared by the Chinese government. Fines are being imposed on companies that don't adhere to these laws. For instance, Tencent was fined due to 12 acquisitions that the country's regulatory body deemed to violate antitrust rules. Other companies, like Alibaba, were also fined for similar situations, such as failing to adequately explain to the national government how certain acquisitions were conducted. Fines were also applied to internet companies that the single party deemed to spread fake news and contradictory information, which could harm consumers. Furthermore, state agencies have the power to veto and vote in the deliberative boards of major companies in the country, even as minority shareholders, which in itself is a clear abuse of authority. Another interesting aspect illustrating how the Chinese government limits personal freedom is that Chinese youths under 18 years old can only play video games for a maximum of 90 minutes on weekdays. This limit increases to 3 hours on Saturdays and Sundays. You might have different opinions about whether this is an appropriate amount of time for a young person to play online, but the question is, should parents or the state, through bureaucrats who don't know these individuals' lives and their best behavior decisions, define these limits? An interesting detail, this control is carried out technologically. Games only grant access through facial recognition, using software that links a person's identity with their birth record. This allows unlimited access or access for a predetermined time on that day. Between 2021 and 2022, the Chinese Communist Party suspended the launch of new games in the country for 8 months. The consequences of this more authoritarian approach were already evident since 2020, when the crackdown on tech companies began. Alibaba lost an astonishing $587 billion in market value in early 2022, and Tencent saw its profits plummet by half, especially during the period when game releases were suspended. Moreover, the number of billionaires also decreased in China in 2022. The clashes between the Chinese government and its tech giants involve significant figures, but ultimately, who will emerge as the winner and who will be the loser remains uncertain.